Hello there. Welcome to Indian Hollywood Fan, and today we're going to talk about 5 things I like about the Star Wars prequel trilogy. So, the prequels, all of the three movies were directed by George Lucas, and initially, these movies actually got a lot of hate. But even though people might think it's an imperfect trilogy, there are still some good and positive things. So we are going to rank all the 5 things I actually like about the prequels. Number 5, George Lucas's vision and ambition. So George Lucas, if you guys know, he's the creator of the Star Wars saga. And also, he was the director of the very first Star Wars movie, A New Hope. So, it was his ambition to make a prequel trilogy, tell a backstory of how Anakin Skywalker, who was a Jedi, turned to the dark side and became Darth Vader, how the Galactic Republic failed and basically became the Empire. And back in the early 2000s, it wasn't really normal to make a prequel because the concept of making a prequel wasn't really that popular at that point. But nowadays, we keep seeing prequels like the Hobbit trilogy and the Fantastic Beast movies. All these are just prequels. Obviously, the concept was popularized by George Lucas himself. And basically, his way of storytelling is itself really great. The way he tells the story that Anakin Skywalker not just turned to the dark side because he wanted to, but because he had to. He had to save Padme's life. He wanted to save his children, and basically he had to do what he did. So basically, it's like the tragedy of Darth Vader, and basically the prequels is what it is. Number 4 is world building and visual effects. So we talk about Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I think George Lucas was the one who actually came up with the idea of great world building, setting up some planets and characters, and I think he did a great job at it. Also, he was criticized initially for overuse of CGI with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. But I think he revolutionized the science fiction genre by using CGI because we could see a lot of things which wasn't really possible back with the original trilogy with all the limitations to technology. So I think the prequels didn't have those limitations and they just did what they should have done. Also, Yoda was a puppet in The Empire Strikes Back. So, in episode 2 and episode 3, we could actually get to see Yoda fighting in a lightsaber duel because he wasn't puppet anymore and was a CGI character. Number 3, lightsaber duels. So you can't deny the fact that prequels are popular for their lightsaber battles. The first film we have Darth Maul fighting Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Till date, it's the best Star Wars lightsaber duel of all time. You can't really argue with that fact. Also, in episode 3, when Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi fight on Mustafar, is also one of the best action sequences of all time. And the actors, Evan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, were really great. The lightsaber choreography was really great, and basically, we weren't really able to see a lot of great lightsaber duels in the original trilogy because of the limitations. And in the sequels, we just had Rey and Kylo Ren, so I think the prequels really did a great job. Number 2 is John Williams' score. I think the best music which anyone can give to any franchise, whether it be Jurassic Park, whether it be Superman, whether it be Indiana Jones, I think John Williams does the best job there is. So even if you are not invested in the story and characters, the music which has been provided by John Williams still keeps you the edge of your seats. And basically, in episode 1, the Duel of the Fates is certainly ironic. And basically, his music gives a cinematic feel to these movies. Whenever there's a lightsaber sequence, wherever there's a space battle, there's always music in the background which keeps you in the story. Number 1 is Palpatine and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, Ian McDermott, when he was young, he played Emperor Palpatine, and basically he was old enough to play Palpatine again in the prequel trilogy. And basically, the prequel trilogy is also somewhat telling us the story of how Palpatine came into power. So he was just a senator in Naboo, and afterwards he becomes the chancellor, and then basically so the way he played the character is just great. I think he just did a very good job in portraying a character he had already played before, but telling us the backstory is, he just is one of the best characters in the whole Star Wars, in fact. But coming to Obi-Wan Kenobi, prequels always had the protagonist problem because we couldn't really understand whether Obi-Wan is the protagonist or Anakin is the protagonist or Qui-Gon is. But for me, it's always been Obi-Wan. He is the protagonist of the prequels. I think Ewan McGregor is definitely one of the best actors, and the way he portrays Obi-Wan, it feels so natural. Like Sir Alec Guinness playing Obi-Wan in the original trilogy, but Ewan McGregor adds some extra layers to the character which makes the character more relatable. We can feel that how he has lost his Padawan to the dark side, how bad he feels for himself. So I think the way Ewan McGregor played him, certainly he is definitely the best thing which came out of the prequel trilogy. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. May the force be with you always.